What's up, guys? I just got the HX effects from Line 6 and I'm liking it so far. Last Sunday was the very first time I ever played with it, and Saturday night I threw it on my board and I was just like, you know, what the heck, let's try it. And so I made a really quick setup and I just wanted to share that with you guys. Alright, so here is the board. Right now it's really messy, but I'm kind of prototyping it to see if maybe it'll fit on a, if this whole setup will just fit on a PT3, and you know, see where we can go from there. So what I'm running here is the Visual Sound Route 66. It's one of my favorite pedals ever. The POG 2, the L cap, just because it's one of my favorite delays, and the Big Sky. And of course, the HX effects. And this is a Voodoo Power Mondo, and this is just a little junction box. I'm running my outputs too, so I don't have to run them out into the middle of my board. So the signal flow is like super simple. All I'm doing is coming in through the Visual Sound Route 66, out just the compressor side, and then into the HX effects. Then the HX effects runs out to the Big Sky and out to either direct or my amp. So right now I'm just running mono, but normally I would run stereo through everything. So this setup I used at my church the other day, and we only run mono for the electric guitar. And right now I'm also running just the Big Sky cab filter, and I use the Visual Sound Route 66 tone control to kind of help out with a preamp kind of tone, and I've really liked what I've been able to get out of it so far. So yeah, so Visual Sound into the HX effects, into the Big Sky, into this little junction box, and out. And so that's it for signal flow. I keep my compressor on just about all the time, and this Big Sky is controlled by the HX effects with a CC toggle command. So that's pretty cool. Really like that. The POG 2 and the L cap are ran into the HX effects using the send and returns. So I'm using both send and returns. The POG is activated by this switch, so just using the effects loop there, which is awesome. And then the L cap is actually ran as an effect that's not on a foot switch. So I manually turn this on and off right now, which is pretty cool. And that's over here in the effects loop 2. And so I just turn that on and off manually right now. And then if I want to sync them together, I try to tap them at the same time, but you know, you only get but so much out of that. So anyway, and then I'm running the Volume X as a volume pedal, but I'm running the volume pedal, effect in the HX effects, and so that's pretty cool. You can see the position moving there a little bit. So, and the reason why I did that was so I can move the pedal, the volume pedal, anywhere in the effects chain. So on the HX effects, the signal flow goes as follows. So it is the POG 2, and then I'm using the TMA overdrive, followed by the Hedgehog D9 overdrive, and then the volume pedal, and then a vintage digital delay, the El Capistan, and then a Bucket Brigade delay after that, and then again the Big Sky, and that doesn't show up in the effects chain for some reason. But anyway, this is my setup. As you see, I'm having to power the HX effects through the courtesy plug because I think this is actually a 1 amp power draw for the HX effects, so I'll either need to couple a few outputs or run off of the courtesy power on the Voodoo Labs. I know the Strymon power blocks have 500 milliamp outputs on most of their power blocks, and so I could probably get one of those and couple it together, but just trying to work with what I had, trying to see if the HX effects can really manage and do everything I need it to do, and cut down on trying to lug this big pedal board around. Or I have a plan for a big board setup for all this, but power management is always going to be an issue until I can get the proper power that I need. Anyway, just wanted to show you guys this setup. I'm going to move on to some sound bites here. Alright guys, so for this demo, I'm going to play a guitar that you guys don't really see or hear me play a lot in the videos. This is my white Les Paul Jr. Love this thing, it's awesome. So of course this is much more gainier than what I'm accustomed to with like the White Falcon and the Thin Line Super Deluxe, so I've adjusted stuff already and I might readjust again. So again, going into the Route 66 Visual Sound, well, Truetone Route 66 compressor. And actually, Truetone, if you could just do half of this pedal, you'd make me a very happy man. But anyway, this is always on. I use it a lot as a boost, as well as the tone boost. I have the tone activated, the gate activated, and that's kind of acting as my preamp. Clean mix is about halfway. So this is the clean tone. So that goes right into the HX effects, and then first up is the POG. And again, that's just ran through the effects loop. And then the next patch I'm using is the T-Maw overdrive pedal, and it sounds like this. And so what I'm using here for that is, or the settings for that is gain about 2.3, bass cut about half, I guess, 5.0, treble cut 4.2, clipping I'm using center, and my level is 5.6. And then after that is kind of my solo tone. Again, this setting is for church, and so this is kind of just what I used my very first Sunday using the HX effects. Also, I'm wearing sandals, so you gotta look at my gross feet. Sorry about that. So here's the tone. I was not doing any of that at church, I promise, but it was probably more something like this. I like to play that lead over Revelation song. It's probably the coolest thing ever. If you know the name of that song, put it in the comment below and I'll give you something cool. Or I'll give one of you guys something cool. First person to put the name of that song in my comments, I will give you something cool. Actually, I'll give you a free copy of my CD because that's fun, right? So that's like the overdrive, like way more than needed overdrive tone that I'm using right now. And then next after that I have a Bucket Brigade. And sometimes I'll run the feedback a little higher. just to get that like wash going. A lot of the times, I mean, I'm just using that as kind of like a background, almost like a reverb. So that's that, and then one of the main delays I use for a lot of like my rhythmic stuff is just the vintage delay. And then in the effects loop again, I have the Strymon L cap. So that's the L cap. You guys have heard that 1,000 times. And then again, running CC toggle command to turn the Big Sky just on and off. I haven't dived in yet to find like what MIDI commands call up certain patches, but right now it's just on and off, which is fine because it gives me the flexibility to just go around and choose what I want to choose and just have it activated on and off. So of course, so all together, here's one of my sounds that I just love to do. So that's it really. Just for using on a Sunday morning, it's been great. I am diving into the reverbs on here and trying to make them match what I have on the Big Sky. I did update my Boss's Helix to the 2.6 firmware, and the new reverbs from the 2.5 update do sound a little better. I don't think it's quite here yet. This cloud mode is extremely hard to beat, and just the way that the Strymon stuff kind of swells into its reverb, it's in a class all on its own, in my opinion. But this works great for me right now. Again, I want to get to a point where I can put all this on a much smaller board, like a PT3 or something like that, and be able to carry that around with me as my main board. But right now, this is what I'm kind of testing out. I am going to test out a big board version. Again, I just got to work out all the power stuff. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.